Get ready to dive into a dark and disturbing mystery. Today, we will explore the intriguing case of Viviane Lira Monte, a 24-year-old businesswoman whose quest for aesthetic perfection ended tragically. In August 2024, Viviane underwent 6 simultaneous plastic surgeries in Sobral, Ceará, Brazil, a procedure that was supposed to fulfill her great dream but turned into a nightmare. What really happened in that operating room? Why was Viviane convinced to undergo more procedures than initially planned? And what were the circumstances that led to her death just 22 days after the operation? Join us as we uncover the details of this case that shocked Brazil and raised questions about medical ethics, negligence, and the dangers of cosmetic surgeries. Don't miss any details of this story full of twists and mysteries. Stay with us until the end of the video to understand all aspects of this case that continues to generate outrage and unanswered questions. Viviane Lira Monte, born on September 27, 1999, in Ceará, Brazil, grew up surrounded by her family's love. From a young age, she won the affection of those around her, being described as a girl who always offered love and joy. Her presence lit up the room. One of the traits that stood out from her childhood was her interest in fashion. She loved feeling beautiful. As she grew older, she dedicated herself more and more to her appearance, taking care of her hair, makeup, and nails, always following the trends. With a curvy body and harmonious face, she was considered perfect by everyone around her. However, like many young people transitioning to adulthood, Viviane began to feel the desire to change some aspects of her appearance. As an adult, she focused her energies on entrepreneurship in the fashion industry and, after much effort and dedication, fulfilled her dream of opening her own clothing store. Despite her professional success, Viviane also found time for love. That's how she met Renan Santiago, a young man with whom she built a solid relationship that quickly became essential in her life. Their bond grew stronger each day, and eventually, Viviane and Renan got married. Their love, full of complicity and joy, was reflected on social media, where they shared happy and affectionate moments. Although she had a seemingly full life, Viviane struggled with insecurities related to her appearance, a discomfort that affects many young people. Despite her professional success and happiness in love, certain aspects of her body left her dissatisfied, leading her to consider alternatives to feel better about herself. After evaluating several options, Viviane decided that cosmetic surgeries would be the answer to her quest for self-confidence. Thus, the 24-year-old wanted to undergo a true transformation process. Breast reduction and abdominal liposuction were her main concerns. So, she began researching online for various professionals capable of performing the procedures she desired. This led her to schedule a consultation with plastic surgeon Alexander Carvalho Colombari. He was not only willing to perform the 2 interventions she wanted, but also persuaded her to consider additional procedures beyond what she initially planned. The surgeon suggested not only breast reduction and abdominal liposuction, but also liposuction on her arms, back, and chin to eliminate fat deposits in areas that often do not respond to diet or exercise. In the case of the chin, the goal was to reduce the double chin and redefine the jawline, a procedure increasingly requested by those seeking a more sculpted and defined face. Additionally, the surgeon proposed a gluteal liposculpture, using the excess fat obtained from other regions to add volume to the buttocks. The surgical plan, therefore, became quite complex, involving interventions on the face, abdomen, arms, back, and buttocks. The specialist assured her that with all the procedures offered, she would achieve a more curvaceous and defined silhouette without the need for artificial implants. It is worth noting that the Brazilian media has issued warnings about the growing popularity of this type of surgery in the country. Although these interventions can improve appearance more naturally, without the use of foreign materials or substances, they also present risks that need to be considered. The consequences can include inadequate fat distribution or increased pressure on blood circulation, significantly raising the complexity and danger of the intervention. The truth is that although these surgeries can enhance the figure, they represent a more invasive and risky procedure, increasing the complexity of the process. Even so, Viviane decided to trust the surgeon and proceed with the surgical plan, convinced that this series of procedures would help her achieve the body she had always dreamed of. On August 31, 2024, Viviane arrived full of expectations to undergo the surgeries at Hospital Sobral, located in the municipality of Ceará, Brazil. There, she remained in the operating room for 8 hours during the various interventions. The surgeon stated that all procedures were successful, and after a brief conversation, Viviane Lira left the hospital to return to Rio de Janeiro, where she lived. In the meantime, Viviane declared that she was not feeling well, and even so, a doctor she did not know sent her home on Sunday, just 15 hours after a series of interventions. Upon returning home, Viviane began to experience intense pain, difficulty urinating, and a sensation of numbness spreading throughout her body. They gathered all the discomfort I was feeling and contacted the plastic surgeon again, presenting the situation more clearly. The husband recalled that from the beginning, Viviane Lira showed worrying symptoms. According to him, on the day of discharge, she was already extremely weak. Worried about seeing his wife in that condition, he insisted on speaking with the surgeon, who assured them that it was normal. However, the young woman's health continued to deteriorate rapidly. The next day, Viviane Lira was about to faint, with her blood pressure dropping dangerously. Faced with this situation, the relatives decided to contact the surgeon again, who recommended taking her to an emergency care unit. Upon being attended to, the health professionals quickly explained to the family that it was urgent to transfer her to a better-equipped facility since her condition was serious and her blood pressure had dropped drastically. Viviane Lira was quickly transferred to a higher complexity hospital and admitted to the intensive care unit. It was in this hospital that Viviane was diagnosed with pulmonary embolism, one of the most common serious complications after extensive surgeries like those she had undergone. This condition occurs when a blood clot blocks a blood vessel in the lungs, preventing the normal flow of blood. Faced with this critical situation, the family contacted the surgeon who had performed the procedure again. Although he was in another city, he assured that he would be in constant communication with the emergency doctors to closely monitor Viviane's health. Days passed, and instead of showing improvement, the young woman began to face multiple complications. First, a severe abdominal infection emerged, followed by a severe bacterial infection that led doctors to schedule surgeries to control the situation. Additionally, due to the incisions made on her arms during the liposuction, she began to lose large amounts of fluid. According to her husband, amid this distressing situation, the young woman remained conscious for days, enduring intense pain and serious breathing difficulties. He reported that every day, he witnessed her suffering. As Viviane's condition worsened, her voice became increasingly weak. I felt she was losing the fight, and during the entire time she was hospitalized in intensive care. Viviane remained in contact with the plastic surgeon, expressing her concerns about the rapid deterioration of her health, but he insisted that everything would be fine, assuring that her improvement was only a matter of time. After approximately 20 days of hospitalization, the doctor who operated on Viviane finally decided to visit the patient, but it was already too late to reverse the critical state she was in. Hours after the surgeon's visit, due to the severity of her condition, the specialists concluded that an emergency procedure was necessary. However, on September 26, 2024, before she could undergo the intervention, Viviane suffered 2 cardiac arrests and died 1 day before turning 25. In a statement, the state's public security secretary informed that the young woman's relatives filed a complaint about the case, which is being investigated by the municipal police station. Viviane's family told the press that after everything that happened, they were informed that no doctor should perform so many procedures at the same time. They also claimed that the professional had lured Viviane with the offer of a significant discount, setting the total cost of the surgeries at $5,000 but requiring the payment to be made in cash. This transaction was recorded, and the family considers that the surgeon acted recklessly and negligently, believing that he deceived the young woman by hiding the risks and complications arising from such interventions. The surgeon told the press that what happened was a fatality. He claimed that he had not yet been called by the police to testify but was available for that at any time. He explained that Viviane's condition showed symptoms similar to the flu, which later developed into pneumonia. He assured that the infection that caused Viviane's death was not related to the surgery and that, when admitted to intensive care, the hypothesis of a clot in her lungs was ruled out. The latest updates on the case, until the first week of November 2024, indicate that the death is still considered suspicious by the civil police, who opened an investigation to clarify the facts. So far, there has been no conclusion on the case. The interviews and procedures carried out aim to understand the circumstances that led to the tragic outcome of the young businesswoman. The sad death of Viviane rekindled the debate on social media about the urgency of creating regulations for cosmetic surgeries in Brazil. In this country, plastic interventions are extremely popular, but cases of alleged negligence and complications are becoming increasingly frequent. The police investigation continues, and the authorities are trying to determine if there was medical negligence. Meanwhile, the family deals with the irreparable pain of losing a young woman who, in her quest to achieve a dream, ended up paying a very high price. If you enjoyed this video, take the opportunity to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Every subscription and comment are crucial for me to continue producing interesting content for you. I greatly appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video.